The suspect accused of murdering four University of Idaho students made a brief court appearance today.
28-year-old Bryan Kohberger waived his right for a speedy preliminary hearing. His lawyers asked for more time to prepare their defense, so now a hearing is scheduled for June.
Lilia Luciano has been following the story for us and joins us live now from Moscow, Idaho. Lilia, what do we know about today's court appearance?
Well, Lana, Errol, good to hear you. Today, Bryan Kohberger walked into this courtroom at about 8:06 this morning. One thing that we didn't notice when we first saw him, I wasn't too close, but we saw from far away, is he had some scratches or cuts to his face. We saw that afterwards on the video that was taken by this pool camera. I asked the sheriff, and he said that this was from him wanting to shave himself before appearing in court. We've heard very little of him. Basically, his defense was asked about what they want to do with the preliminary hearing. They said he's going to waive the speedy preliminary hearing, so it's not going to happen within 14 days of him first showing up in court. It's going to happen later on. The date they said, as you mentioned, is June 26. And the reason is so that his defense can have more time to evaluate evidence, more time to review the discovery. So he said, I understand what this all means in very short words and just yes and no answers. It was done within just a few minutes, and then he left. So we'll be back here in the summer. It gives people a lot of time. I just heard from the attorney of the family of Kaylee Gonzalez, and he said, we learned about it just as it happened in court, that the family was surprised that there was this kind of delay, but that they hope it'll help the process of justice.
And it makes you wonder how a defense will be created when they have something like DNA at the scene of the crime or on the murder weapon. I think it may have been the sleeve, as it was reported, the sleeve of the knife or sharp object that was used. The murders themselves are so horrific. This entire story is unnerving, especially because this suspect studies criminology, may have been trying to get students as part of his research. Describe for us just the mood in town with other students back and folks trying to get on with their lives as this unfolds.
Well, I've been hearing from students here who say, they're still very much in shock. Some, of course, they're trying to hold space for their friends who lost loved ones. There's still grief on campus, but there's also a sense of relief and safety. Also, they realize that at least with a suspect caught, even though you have to hold up the presumption of innocence, that gives them and their parents a bit more ease that there's not a killer on the loose. That's, what they've expressed to me. And they want to go on with the classes as normal because this was a very shocking event that impacted the end of their semester. Many of students did not come back after Thanksgiving break, but the majority of students did come back to class. And Errol, you mentioned Bryan Kohberger and his criminology studies. Well, yesterday I got the opportunity to meet two of his neighbors who it was a little bit hard to convince them to speak. Of course, they're shaken by all of this. They're concerned about, any kind of harassment or anything, so they wouldn't want to reveal their identity. But both of them told me that they were shocked because he seemed someone who was very nice, very social, very chatty. One of them described him as, a little bit awkward, but very chatty. Somebody who came to a party he invited him to. The other one said he was so kind. I came from another country, and he welcomed me right away. He was very welcoming. One of them showed me a text message that Kohberger sent him on Thanksgiving Day, just checking in on him and wishing him a happy Thanksgiving for him and his family. So to the people, at least within the Washington State University campus who knew him, who interacted with him, this was very shocking, and they say it just doesn't match. Now, one of them did tell me, and this is the first time that we heard from anyone that Kohberger actually talked about the killings. He told me that Bryan Kohberger brought up to him the conversation about the killings, that he was talking about a hit and run that he had heard about, the neighbor, but that Kohberger said, "Oh, do you hear about the killings?" And that this was just a couple of days or so after they happened. That Kohberger said, it looks like they don't have a lead. It sounds like it's a crime of passion. So he's obviously replaying all of that in his head and every other conversation that he had with them. But both neighbors told me, look, he's a criminology student, so yes, he talked a lot about these topics, especially the other neighbor who said that he was so kind. He said he loved talking about his field of study. He was passionate about it, but that doesn't stand out because he was getting a PhD on it.
Wow. We'll be interested to hear more from what you've gathered today in the days ahead. Lilia Luciano, thank you.
Thanks, Lilia.
Thank you both.